That Chiefs defense allowing opponents to complete 72% of their passes. Not great. Let's go to Dolphins Raiders. Miami, well, they're going to start Jacoby Brissett in place of the injured Tua Tagovailoa, who he has broken ribs at this point. Vegas is still unbeaten with impressive wins over the Ravens and Steelers. Derek Carr and their offense #1 in the league. D-Hall, what you think of Vegas?
You know what? It's a shame that Miami's not bringing a healthy Tua into this game, because I'm still trying to figure out if the Raiders are for real or not, and I'm starting to think they are. So this is a game for that defense to continue to go out and dominate an opponent that's not very good, and for this offense to show us what they got, because Miami's defense, we know they are an opportunistic bunch. They want to try to get the football. Derek Carr has to protect it, but I mean, guys, are the Raiders for real or what? I don't know, but I definitely know they're going to win this game. And so I'm looking forward to watching them just continue to keep that ball rolling.
I love that you asked that question, if they're for real, because we're going to talk about that a little bit more coming up in the show. Let's go to the huge NFC game. We got Packers and Niners. Green Bay leveled out last week. Their offense still ranks 29th in yards and 26th in points after that disaster against the Saints week 1. They play a San Francisco team that won a shootout in week 1 and then a defensive battle in week 2. Jeezy, what's the deal this week?
The deal is the Niners are home, right? It feels like forever since they played a home game. They had back-to-back road games, stayed in West Virginia for that week in between, much as they enjoyed their stay at the Greenbrier. It would be nice for them to get back home. So they finally get there with a 2-0 record in a couple of games where they didn't play their best football. So I'm really looking at the Niners here, rejuvenated by that home crowd. They're going to get to sleep in late. Kyle Shanahan says for a night game, you get to sleep in. Be nice to sleep in one of these days, but I got young kids. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So for the Niners, enjoy that extra beauty sleep. Get ready for this game. I'm expecting a spirited performance from San Francisco.
There is nothing better than going to bed and not having to set an alarm on your phone. It's the best feeling in the entire world. I also wish that I could do that at some point soon. Happy for everyone out there who can do that, though. Finally, we got another possible playoff preview coming up. Bucs at Rams. Stars on both sides of the ball here. A pair of top 5 scoring offenses. The defense is also dynamic. Plenty of playmakers, but that includes here, we got the quarterbacks, the Pats and the Lions. Well, they didn't play that often here. So guess what, guys? This is the 3rd ever meeting between Brady and Stafford. They split the other 2 games, but Brady's numbers were better. How about that? Also, it's kind of crazy that Tom Brady has never played a game in LA in the NFL. He's never been out here. So this is a brand new period for him in his life. So the Rams offense, top 5 in points and yards per play. D-Hall, you went back and watched last year's game between these 2 teams. So what'd you notice?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've noticed that Sean McVay's not going to just run the ball to run the ball if he can't get positive yards. That's something that differs between kind of his philosophy and Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's ignorant about wanting to run the football, but Sean McVay knows that, hey, a quick screen or, a reverse, those type of different looks to get the ball in the playmaker's hands can work just as well as runs. And you saw Cooper Kupp with 14 catches, Robert Woods with about 12 catches, and it was all short around the line of scrimmage. Those guys got the football in their hands, and they made plays. So this Tampa defense is going to have to run. And as a guy who's played against a lot of screen teams, every screen kind of feels different, right? Is this guy going to put his hands on me and really sell that run? Is he going to give me a route and push me deeper into coverage, and then I have to come off and kind of react? And so, every screen kind of looks different, and it was amazing to watch the way the Rams kind of dictated the pace to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by running all of those screens. It took so much aggressiveness away from those defensive ends because they couldn't just get upfield thinking it was a pass. They knew they had to react and kind of be another helper. So I'm just intrigued to kind of see how it unfolds this time around, because I know Todd Bowles is going to have to have an answer for that.
Yeah, he's going to have an answer, D-Hall, and you're absolutely right when you're talking about the screens, the motions, the shifts. That's the Shanahan tree. That's that Shanahan system that Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, like all of these guys are kind of running that system. And when you're going up against that system defensively, a lot of times you're going up against the system. right? It really doesn't matter who's at X or who's at Y or whatever. If a formation is a certain formation and, and the backs offset a certain side, there's a certain amount of plays that go with that, or there's a certain amount of screens that go with that. So you're actually playing against the system. And I think that's why Sean McVay wanted a Matthew Stafford in this offense so bad, right? Because he can play outside the system. You can trust him to just call a straight drop back pass. And Matthew Stafford, with that arm talent, can hit any part of the field that you want him to. So to me, that's what Todd Bowles has to defend against. He's going to have to pick and choose when he decides to pressure Matt Stafford, because Matt Stafford's seen everything. Matt Stafford's got that same mentality that Sean McVay has, which is, if you're going to heat us up, we're going to stand in the pocket, we're going to hold the football, and we're going to make you pay by being explosive in the passing game. You got to think about Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I mean, all of these guys that they already have, if they can put the ball up and stretch the field vertically, it's going to be a tough day for that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense.
Yeah, and that Bucs defense going to be without Jason Pierre-Paul. He's been ruled out. So that's not ideal. You want to be at your strength when you're going up against the Rams here. But I do know this. Down in Tampa, that defense is looking at this game as a good early litmus test. Now, I understand that we know how good this Buccaneers defense was at the right time last year, but every season is new. Every season is different. And I know that we draw conclusions, and we in the media like to react to stuff that happens early in the season. Really, for a lot of coaches, and I said this before multiple times with Steve Spagnuolo throughout his career. I'm going to say it again later in the show. A lot of times what happens in September is figuring out who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Bill Belichick loves to do this. Now, they usually win the games along the way while they're doing this, and Tampa has done the same. But I just know that Todd Bowles and this defense is looking at this as a good early test, almost kind of a wake-up call to them. It kind of felt like an extended preseason for them. I understand the opener and the Cowboys was a huge game, but it's a Thursday night game. It's kind of weird. It's on its own. Then you had the Falcons. Well, now here it comes. Here's a team that you've got some tape on this year. You can prepare for, and you can see what you do well, what you need to work on, who you can rely upon. And when you face another game like this later in the season, what kind of game plan are you going to have going into it? So they're embracing this challenge, and even if it doesn't go well, they'll use it as a measuring stick and a way to grow as they get deeper into the season.
And Garafolo, Cooper Kupp, he is absolutely going to test this defense. That was the hot topic on our production call yesterday. Everybody wanted to talk about Cooper Kupp. The connection that he has with Matthew Stafford already is just so automatic. They've relied on him so much. I'm going to start calling him Solo Kupp until that really changes. He's shifty. He's tough to tackle. He blocks for his guys. He makes big plays. Tomorrow, Solo Kupp has a good shot to become the fourth player in the Super Bowl era with 100 receiving yards and a touchdown catch in each of the first 3 games of the season. And he's been known to get after the Bucs in the past. Now, 2 full seasons removed from when he birthed his new knee with that ACL surgery, and he's looking better than ever, guys. So I know, Mike Robb, I know you're huge on Cooper Kupp as well. You and D-Hall and Garafolo, everyone was jumping on to talk about him.
Yeah,
D-Hall
deep pull there.
Talk about his route running. The same.
Yeah, deep pull.
You gonna call me out? Hey, look. Hey, go ahead, Jeezy.
I just say a deep pull with Colleen with that quote that she had, that awkward moment in her interview with Cooper Kupp from a couple of years ago. Also, a prop at 6:10 Eastern or Pacific time. That is a record for Colleen. Pulling out the props early. Go ahead, D-Hall.
It is. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, we got in a little debate about how Cooper Kupp runs his routes. And he's so crafty. He's so smart of a route runner. He knows a lot of times he's not going to probably be the best athlete, so he doesn't just try to go out and just try to beat you with moves. He uses everything. He puts his hands on you. He almost kind of pretends like he's blocking you at certain times, and then he's able to kind of just shake loose. What, and Rob? I'm giving Cooper Kupp some love. I love Cooper Kupp game, man.
Illegal.
I just said I would hate.
It's not illegal.
I just said I would hate to play against a guy like that because you don't have a chance to really go make a play. You have to defend him at all times. You know what I mean? Because if you take your hands off of him and go try to attack the run, it might be a pass. Like Cooper Kupp's so crafty by that means is what I'm saying.
Just get a man his flowers.
Right. Very crafty.
Damn, man. Just go ahead and say he a good round.
Cooper Cup, you nice, bro.
Say it, man.
Cooper Cup, you nice.
Solo Cup.
You
it's
nice.
going to catch on. Everybody's saying it right now. Bucs fans are awake this morning, winning the poll by a thin margin here, 50% to 49. So I feel like this is going to be basically how close the game is as well. So the poll mirrors that. All right, we got more coming up because we're just getting started. We know we're going to get a show from Brady and Stafford in LA, but what we don't know is what we'll see from Justin Fields. Ready or not, he's making his first start, and he's not the only rookie quarterback we need to check on. Plus, will Zeke shine brighter under the lights? Sir Stats will tell you why his nickname could be prime time.